Hey there everyone, Jonathan and Molly here, and welcome back to Savoring the Magic.
We are two siblings who share a love of Disney, film history, and general nerddom, and all the details in between that make up modern day magic.
That's right. So today we are here in Hollywood Studios because we thought if we're going to celebrate spooky season,
It's so weird when it does that.
Strange. Anyway, we thought what better ride to explore and celebrate than Tower of Terror. So come along with us on this excursion as we explore the many details found within this spooky fan favorite.
There it is, peeking over the trees,
Yes.
our eventual destination.
Yep. Although, admittedly, before we go over there, we're definitely going to grab some lunch because we're coming in here later than normal. Yeah, we have to eat first,
Yes.
for sure.
Shrimp
And
tacos.
one of our favorite things is here. So, yes, the shrimp tacos, ABC Commissary. So, come with us there first.
If you're looking for any kind of Star Wars or Marvel merchandise,
This is your stop.
Keystone.
It's also a nice air conditioning route on your way to ABC Commissary from the entrance.
That's true. That's
As
new.
far as the design
I think I've
goes.
seen it.
Yeah. That's neat too, though, with all the
Yeah.
outlines.
I like the hat.
Yeah. Lots of rocket food.
And if you've been watching Ahsoka like we have, they have several merchandise opportunities.
Oh my gosh, look at the chopper.
Pretty great. Oh, they even have some of the Sabine
Oh,
in that
that's
classic
cool.
Kenner packaging, which I love. And you can also get the sabers. I think these are the new versions.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, remember whenever we had that ugly sorcerer's hat for years and years and they finally got rid of it? I do. I remember.
You know, the funny thing is I can remember how many people were sad when that was going away, and all I could think about was, oh, I'll finally be able to actually see the Chinese Grandma's Theater again. Technically, I
know.
think it's the TCL Theater now, but
Yeah.
at the time, that's what it was.
It's funny, in reading about all this stuff for Tower of Terror, it was interesting about how popular it was, of course, whenever it opened in '94.
Oh, yeah.
And but so much so that like people considered it the new icon of the park long before they tore down the sorcerer's hat.
Yeah.
And to be fair, whenever we got our concept art for the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World Resort, what was shown for Hollywood Studios?
But
Tower of Terror. So, official.
Still my icon, I think.
I know.
Even if the ride makes me almost ill. It's a
But
great
he
ride.
loves all the theming for
I love the
it.
theming. I go and torture myself every time almost.
Pretty much.
And our number has been called. Mobile order, the best thing ever.
Oh, amen.
Hey there. Thank you so much.
Represent Abbott Elementary, Jonathan.
Oh, nice.
This is a fave show.
There's the goods.
Highly recommend. This is what we get almost every time we come here.
true.
So,
And the plus is you get to feel like you're eating inside ABC Studios. All right, so we have completed lunch.
yes.
Delicious as always. And we are heading over to our main destination.
That's right. So we're going to get into a little bit of its development, the concept, all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, we're going to go ride it.
Absolutely. Just for you.
That's right. Well, in Jonathan's case, just for you. I would ride this anyway. But yes, for Jonathan, it's just for you guys.
For you. So for a little bit of context, Sunset Boulevard and the area surrounding it was not a thing in 1989 when the park opened. The park was well received, but they knew they needed to punch it up. They'd added Muppet Vision in 1991, but Imagineers literally could not develop projects fast enough.
As the concept for Sunset Boulevard was being developed, Imagineer Kevin Rafferty knew they needed an anchor for the end of the boulevard to draw people away from the central hub of the park. Now, he already knew that some Imagineers had floated the idea of a haunted hotel that would have a long drop and tied to an unsolved murder, but Eisner didn't think that story was compelling enough. However, Rafferty could not get the idea out of his head.
While brainstorming with Steve Kirk, a new concept arrived, a Tower of Terror featuring the Twilight Zone. He quickly put together a proposal for Marty Sklar, the president of Imagineering, who gave him the green light to present it to Michael Eisner and Frank Wells.
Rafferty followed the advice of Imagineer John Hinch and added a fresh twist to the elevator and freefall concept. He pitched that the ride system would be different and would behave differently than how you'd expect. The elevator car would actually travel horizontally across the floor to another shaft. It would be the first time that a ride started out as one thing and became something entirely different, which was really appropriate for the story that they had planned. Armed with freshly created concept art and music from the anthology series on a cassette tape, Rafferty made his presentation. Eisner was sold on the idea that the elevator car would not be limited to only vertical movements, and Wells liked the idea of tying it to an iconic property. The Twilight Zone had ended in 1964, but it was still incredibly visible thanks to reruns, a reboot, and a film.
With the green light from Eisner and Wells, it was now time to figure out how to actually make it work. Research for the attraction involved road trips to places like Six Flags Magic Mountain, mostly to learn how not to design a freefall attraction. Most of these attractions were outdoors and resembled a vertical roller coaster with a single drop. Tower of Terror would be largely indoors, in the dark, and utilizing a very different ride vehicle.
Solving the technical challenges of the attraction, though, would take years. Associates in Farron would work on the attraction's projection effects, and for the first time ever, the Imagineers would not be drafting by hand. Instead, they would be using AutoCAD. And rather than starting a mechanical design from scratch, they switched to using an elevator development company. A useful but funny choice, seeing as the whole goal of that is to make sure that elevators don't free fall from large heights.
However, the operating system was eventually figured out. The ride would use a pair of electric motors on top of the elevator shaft. When the drum spun, a steel cable pulled the car up and down faster than free fall. It would travel 13 stories in just over a second. To add to the uniqueness, the ride would not contain just one long drop, but lesser drops where the order and duration was randomly generated by a computer for each vehicle. As for moving from one elevator to another, it would use a trackless system to travel the horizontal route through the fifth dimension. It was the very first time Disney employed a trackless ride system.
The architectural exterior was influenced by several different places around Los Angeles that were developed in the 1920s. Two of those influences were the actual Hollywood Tower, an 8-story Art Deco apartment complex in Los Angeles, as well as the Mission Inn in Riverside. They added the window at the top, which serves a dual purpose. The screams of the passengers obviously echo throughout the park. Either you can think of that as a beckoning or a warning, depending on your feelings. And then, of course, it allows the rider to see just how high up they are right before they fall.
The lobby was modeled off of LA's 1920s era Biltmore Hotel, although admittedly with a lot more cobwebs and dust.
The backstory for the attraction was elaborate, with Michael Sprout's script detailing a 1939 lightning strike that accidentally transports 5 elevator passengers into the fifth dimension. The story for the attraction is set up by Rod Serling, who was the voice of the TV show. He appears in an introductory film in the library of the hotel. The clip used here is actually from a Twilight Zone episode, A Good Life, and was reappropriated with a very well-timed edit and a voiceover by talented impersonator Mark Silverman. The introductory film was also directed by Joe Dante, who had directed a segment of the 1983 Twilight Zone, the movie, and also directed Gremlins. The concept and design for Tower of Terror were finalized 14 months before opening as construction began. The structure required 150,000 cubic feet of concrete, 1,500 tons of steel, and input from 150 or more Imagineers. The massive motors used for the dropping and rising are 12 feet tall, 7 feet wide, and 35 feet long, and they had to be lifted into position with a crane, after which the building was completed, sealing them inside.
The result was a tower reaching 199 feet, just 12 inches short of an FAA-regulated blinking light to alert airplane pilots.
The ride ended up costing about double the budget of 1994's The Lion King, but it was clearly a risk worth taking. The ride was a success. It opened on July 22nd, 1994, and the park saw a 15% increase in visitors over the first 4 months. And now it's safe to say that it's one of the most iconic structures in all of Walt Disney World.
So some of the fun details to look for in the lobby. All the clocks have stopped at 8:05 p.m., the fateful moment of the lightning strike. Why 8:05? Well, add 8 and 5 together and you get the unlucky number 13. Unread mail remains in the room slots behind the reception desk. The place settings left behind in the lobby feature faux coffee and tea stains in the porcelain cups. The champagne glass sitting on the table next to the wall has a lipstick stain on it. Folded newspapers on the reception counter has the date October 31st, 1939. The lampshades for all the lamps with fringe were constructed using period flapper-style dresses. The couches in the lobby were newly manufactured prior to being heavily aged by prop designers, based on plans dating from the 1920s found at a factory of the original manufacturer. Tongue-in-cheek documents citing the Hollywood Tower Hotel's coveted 13 Diamond Award, the only one ever granted. The note in the library on the Hollywood Tower Hotel stationery placed at one of the tables along the wall reads, "Porcelains of Europe, although susceptible to earthquake damage, are an important element in films and attractions in Hollywood." This may seem like a random note, but it hails back to the fact that the Northridge earthquake damaged a lot of the porcelain that was acquired for the ride, which was stored in a warehouse in California before being shipped to Florida. Props in the library reference earlier Twilight Zone episodes, a demonic pop-up device from The Nick of Time, a metal robot from The Invaders sits on a ledge above you, a pair of glasses with shattered lenses rest on a stack of books for Time Enough at Last, an envelope with the name Mary on the front from A World of His Own on the writing desk, and a trumpet sitting on top of a piece of sheet music in the library recalls the episode A Passage for Trumpet. Of course, these are just some of the many Easter eggs located throughout the attraction. Tell us in the comments, what are your favorites?
So, with the history and construction out of the way, I don't know, do you want to go actually ride this thing?
Yes, let's go enjoy all that went into it.
It's a little overcast, so you have the ominous clouds just for this occasion.
Just for our purposes, we arranged it for you guys.
Yes.
Notice the little effect. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it has the fiber optic stuff underneath where it turns into Tower of Terror. It's kind of like an overlay on the Hollywood Tower sign. Of course, established in 1917 to set up our time period. And the fact that it had been around for a while before the incident happened. Keep out.
Always loved the music.
I know. So even the keep out sign keeps in with the theming. It was closed October 31st, 1939 until further notice, which of course never reopened due to the mysterious events that happened that night.
Spooky, spooky.
Spooky, spooky. Yeah, they communicate so much through the dilapidation, not just of the building, but also of the way that the plants are overgrown and not tended to. Or at least they look like they're not tended to. We all know they are.
Even the light poles here, same way.
Yeah, looks like the paint is chipped. It's so interesting the way they go through and intentionally provide this dilapidation, neglect, cracks in the plaster, all that kind of stuff.
We brought his card today that has money in it because we figured.
Perfect example. Even the level of detail, guys, just like water stains and mold that's built up for years. Just the buildup of grime and how they clearly haven't been cleaned in decades. So cool.
unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the twilight zone. Hollywood, 1939. Amid the glitz and the glitter of a bustling young movie town at the height of its golden age, the Hollywood Tower Hotel was a star in its own right, a beacon for the show business elite. Now, something is about to happen that will change all that. The time is now, on an evening very much like the one we have just witnessed. Tonight's story on the Twilight Zone is somewhat unique and calls for a different kind of introduction. This, as you may recognize, is a maintenance service elevator, still in operation, waiting for you. We invite you, if you dare, to step aboard, because in tonight's episode, you are the star. And this elevator travels directly to the Twilight Zone.
Elevators are down the hall to your left.
Snow turning back. This is very spooky lighting for you.
I know.
Seatbelts will go from left to right and left to right only. You can hold all your personal belongings in your hands or place them down next to your feet. I will call you in row by row. Now, word from our hotel manager. Everyone, arms up. All the way up as high as they can go. Perfect. Arms down. It's just a little bit of practice for later.
Oh, Daddy.
So,
One stormy night long ago, 5 people stepped through the door of an elevator into a nightmare. That door is opening once again, and this time, it's opening for you. A warm welcome back to those of you who made it, and a friendly word of warning. Something you won't find in any guidebook. The next time you check into a deserted hotel on the dark side of Hollywood, make sure you know just what kind of vacancy you're filling, or you may find yourself a permanent resident of the Twilight Zone.
it was fun though.
It was.
Well, it was fun for me. We'll see if Jonathan agrees or not. But
It's always the thing.
So there are actually nods to the Twilight Zone television series in the menu. There's the Whitefish Matheson. There's the Rack-a-Lamb Johnson. There's the Polonaise Beaumont and the Gâteau Chocolat in Rodman. Does that say in Rodman? I think it does. Paul Rodman. Sorry, it's dark in here, so it's kind of hard for me to read it. But cool thing, Richard Matheson wrote 16 episodes of The Twilight Zone. George Clayton Johnson wrote 5 episodes. Charles Beaumont wrote 22 episodes. And of course, Rod Serling was the creator, screenwriter, executive producer, and host of The Twilight Zone. Well, now that we have survived our trip to the Fifth Dimension, we had to exit through a gift shop, so of course we're going to check it out. It's going to have all kinds of Halloween goodness going on.
Yes, it's a really great gift shop.
It is. Fun fact, the only part of this attraction is not dusty.
That's true. So standard Halloween merch. And then over here to the side is the actual tower merch.
Okay.
It's a really great shirt.
That's cool.
I also absolutely adore this.
I need it to ring for longer, but yes, it is cool. A warm welcome back to those who made it.
You can get the classic hat.
And easily some of the coolest
Yeah, it's very cool
that
gear.
they've ever made. So this little keychain,
Oh my god.
I can't. It's
Amazing.
got the little.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Super troopers. She's got super troopers.
And most of these are a limit of 5 per guest.
Oh,
Just something to keep in mind.
and in case you need to know how popular this merchandise has been,
Correct.
boom. Also, if you are a Nightmare Before Christmas fan, this gift shop is your one-stop shop. I'm pretty sure.
Pretty much everything they have is here.
From Jack to Oogie Boogie, everything in between, they've got it. Oh my gosh, they even have the Santa Claus. I can't.
Amazing. They even have Zero and Oogie Boogie in stuffed form.
Yep.
An amazing robe.
The best robe.
75 bucks.
Whew. A pricey robe.
And no spooky store would be complete without Haunted Mansion merch.
That's right.
I absolutely adore this. I have no need for it, but
No,
it's
but
great. Most of the merch that you would find in Memento Mori is in here.
yeah.
Not all of it.
Although I gotta say, props to them for still having themed stuff for the attraction in the gift shop. The one part of this gift shop that is dusty right there. And then you also have an advertisement for the Tip Top Club, which we're super excited to get to experience during Jollywood Nights.
That's right, we'll be there. And the perfect reward after being terrified, coffee.
Yes, it's literally right here for me whenever you exit. Look at that. How convenient.
And they have some pretty cool collectible pennies out here, specifically for the Tower of Terror. And the coffee has been procured. We are coming over here to find a shaded seat.
And look, right
And
here.
look, one
Boom.
has appeared.
Done.
We popped in one of the shops over here, and I've never seen this Avengers merch.
No. It's
Also,
so
like-
cool. It's like a fit line. I don't
Yeah.
know. But look at the back.
It's really
Random, but love this font.
cool. Yeah, oh yeah. And that's your matching bottle here, and then a really super breathable hat.
Love this thing though.
Yeah.
Like how simple that is.
Anyway, very cool merch.
It is.
And this was in Legends of Hollywood, because I don't think I ever said it.
Also a cool thing out here, a bulletin board for the Hollywood Tower Hotel, clearly before the unfortunate incident occurred.
Well, thanks for joining us on today's spooky excursion.
That's right.
If you liked the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Really helps us out. We have videos coming out every Wednesday and Saturday, but until next time, keep savoring the magic.